What's up, everybody? It's your boy Steve from the Wives Corner, and today we have the epic head-to-head battle of the original OG, the SKX 001J. I have one. I was fortunate enough to get one a few years ago from GerardWatches.com. That's only two places I get my vintage watches. It's from him and my watchmaker Tony, versus Mark's Long Island ISL-09's version of the SKX. This should be an epic battle. We're doing it outside, and yes, Leon J and Johnny Rodriguez, I do own a shirt with sleeves on it. So let's go ahead, get this camera turned around, and get this battle started. All right, we'll go ahead and get this thing started. Yes, I do not have a wristwatch on. I just got done cutting 4 grasses and weed whacking, so normally when I do that, I take off all jewelry. It's in the evening. So yeah, we'll start off first with bezels. Now, like I said, this is a 2001, the original OG SKX 001. I mean, it's nice action. I love the action on this. It's amazing. Yes, Mark's is fully loomed, and it does line up with the chapter ring. Yes, it does, 100%. I love the bezel. It's a good feel to it. Yeah, it's not fully loomed like Mark's, but I still really like the bezel on this and the bezel action. Okay, then we got Mark's Islander, which obviously is a newer one. And I mean, the bezel action is fine on this. It's just, I really like the bezel action on the SKX. It's actually a little tad bit smoother than this. I think it's just because this one's so new, it needs to be broke in. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the fully luminous bezel for sure. I mean, you know, so you got that. Like I said, I'm not really scoring these. We're doing that head-to-head. We're just kind of going over them. And I'll let you, the audience, decide who the winner is. And like I said, I got this from my homie, AJ, Average Joe Watch Reviews. I really liked his battle that came out. And I'm like, you know something? I'm going to do kind of the same chilled kind of battle. You got the ice cream truck in the background. You're going to have the planes overhead. You got the air conditioners. You got my neighbor, Dave's dog, Dewey. What else can you ask for? You know, we're outside. Now, the next thing I'm going to see is going to be the Indices. I really love the Indices inside the dial. You know, it's just the typical SKX ones. Now, the only thing is it sucks is since this thing is 20 years old, is the loom is only on the hands and the lollipop on the second hand. So, you know, that kind of does suck. And I mean, you can't say that about all Seikos, because all my monsters, my first gen monsters, they're 2000s, and the loom is just like the day they were bought. But on this one, just on the SKX, the loom's just not as good. I mean, like I said, got to give this thing a pass. It's 2001, it's 20 years old, you know. But I really do like the Indices on it a lot. Now, of course, I love Mark's, and his is fully loomed as well, you know. I think they both do a good job on them. You know, look, there's a comparison on them. And we can talk about the dials. You got this lovely blue of Mark's. And you got the plain traditional SKX is black, which, you know, is awesome. Now, the chapter rings do line up on both of them with the triangle pip. So, yes, they really do. Now, the only thing I have to be transparent about this one is the bracelet. We'll talk about bracelets. This came on a rubber strap. I opted out for this butterfly solid stainless steel bracelet, non-curved end links. And I mean, I think it goes really, really well with this, because like I said, this one came on the regular rubber diver strap. So definitely this is a good look. It looks like it actually fits. Now, you can never fuss about Mark's bracelets here. I mean, they use screw pins, and he provides the screwdriver. And you can't argue with a milled clasp. So, I mean, all his bracelets are screw pins, not push pins, and not the fussy pin and collar system. So you can't argue. And like I said, he gives you the screwdriver. It usually typically takes me like maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I always have to take 3 out of Mark's. I love his bracelets. And I was actually even thinking on, maybe on like my first gen orange, you know, Seiko monster, of putting his on it, you know, just because I like it with the milled clasp, but it's a little bit more substantial. So, you know, definitely you can't go wrong. Obviously, Mark's bracelet is definitely a winner over the Seikos. I know the Seiko SKXs don't use the fussy pin and collar, but I mean, come on. They use press glass. Definitely Mark has the leg up on them with that. Now we know that the Seiko's, they're proprietary hardlex. Well, there's nothing wrong with hardlex. I don't have any problems with it. Yes, I do love the sapphire crystal. And I mean, Seiko's not going to dump the millions of dollars in technology in their hardlex technology to go with sapphire, even though sometimes they do produce limited pieces and special edition pieces with a sapphire crystal. I mean, you're talking a $10 difference, you know, in price. So, you know, my Dracula second generation, the crystal was so screwed up and deep gashed when I got it that I switched the hardlex out for $10 more. It cost me to get the AR coated sapphire crystal. So when I gave it to Tony to get it done, I said, heck, for $10 more, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade it, you know. But I do not have a problem with the hardlex. They both scratch. If you go over to the Town Watch, Josh, he does the test on the hardlex versus a sapphire. And yes, you can scratch sapphire. My buddy on his special edition Jubilee dial Rolex, his wife scratched his watch when they were wrestling around with their diamond ring. So yes, you can scratch sapphire. The only thing is sapphire is a crystal is a little bit more brittle as far as, you know, cracking than a hardlex. But there's nothing wrong with hardlex. It's a myth. Get over it. I don't know why people get all bent over that. Now the crowns, similar to crowns, you got the knurling on it. You know, it's easy to unscrew and to screw back in and put it to the different positions. Now, you know, with the 7S26 movement, which this is not a hacking or a hand winding movement, but I don't have a problem with the shaking, you know, the shake and bake. I do not have a problem with that, you know. It's not a problem. If you hold back pressure on the stem when you pull it out, yes, you can hack it. It's not a big deal. And it doesn't matter anyway. Yes, Mark says hacking. Look at the crown here. It's a nice hacking and hand winding, but it's not a big deal because guess what? Even with this one here, even with this one right here, you're going to have an issue once you do hack it and set it. You know, over the day, it's gonna gain or lose time. So it's not that big of a deal, you know, unless you get these things really professionally dived in. And I mean, you're rocking the NH35 movement. It's a good movement, you know what I'm saying? It's the Seiko workhorse for all the micro brands. You can't complain about this, you know. So can't say anything bad about the NH35 or the NH36 movements, which are the ones that, you know, Seiko movements that all the micro brands use. There's not a problem with them, you know. The only thing is the parts are not interchangeable with like the 4R36. You can't interchange the parts from those two. It won't work. So yeah, that's it with them. As far as that, now the case backs, I just absolutely love Mark's. I know he's having a contest now for somebody to come up with a new, but you have the Islander logo over here on the right, and you have the picture of Long Island on it. I mean, you gotta love that. It's awesome. I absolutely love Mark's logo, and he's changing it up to get a new one, but I'm glad that I own a few with the old logo on them. And then, you know, you got the traditional, the wave one on here on the Seiko, you know, which I absolutely love, and that's on the Monsters as well as the SKXs. You gotta love that. The cases are very similar, you know, but I absolutely like the case backs on both of them, you know. So it's awesome. The weight, I don't know, they feel about the same weight because I have this on a very heavy solid stainless steel bracelet. And they're solid end length, so they feel pretty comparable in the weight. So they're very nice. I don't know. I mean, it's a toss-up. You got the original against Mark's, you know. A lot of people would argue that the original always beats out, you know, the copy, you know, the homage. But I don't know, you know. I mean, Mark's made me a believer out of his watches. It really has. This one, you got to have mad respect. This is the first SKX ever to come out. So you got to love this one. I hold this one in very high esteem, and it's a very solid piece, a piece of Seiko horology history in my collection. You know, the SKX 007s are going for ridiculous money, $700-800 new, and even used over $400. So, you know, they're holding their value. Yes, the original's always going to plummet up in value, You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing the micro brands really aren't, unless maybe if the micro brand goes out of business or the company shuts down or something, then they maybe become more valuable. But, you know, so that's all I have. You all will be the judge on it. It's not my neighbor Mike's scoring, and it's not my scoring. There's no scorecard. So you tell me who you think won this battle here. It is up to you, the audience, to decide. So please comment on who you think won the battle, and please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you already are not doing so. And I appreciate your feedback, and I appreciate every single one of you. I hope everybody has a beautiful evening. It's nice out here now. And just please remember, time is short. Let someone you care about know how much you love them today, and have a great evening, folks.